Today we're sitting down on the porch with Pene, a QHS member whose life is as heartwarming as a home-cooked meal. What paths did she follow to get to where she is today? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and see what's been cooking behind the scenes.
Hi, my name is Pene, and welcome to my QHS Prequel. So I am 58 years old. I am the mother of 4 children, 3 of whom are grown, and the youngest is 16. I live in Wisconsin, and I'm a chiropractor. I work with the Amish primarily, and I did not take the vaccines. I have a lot of health problems. Some are, I believe, like family inherited type things. In my family of origin, there is a lot of heart disease, circulation problems, stroke, cancer, alcoholism, addiction, depression. Those types of problems, I would say, are the main problems, and I've had to suffer through most of those things, and I can see the pattern continuing in my children, and I'd really like it to stop. I would love to be the family constellation person for my family that just stops this generational issue with genetics and these problems. So I grew up in northern Minnesota. My mom was a teacher, my dad was a chiropractor, and then later he was a politician. He was a Minnesota State Representative. So he didn't go to Washington, but he did go to St. Paul to work. He died when I was 14, and my mom remarried. She's 82 now, and she's in actually very good health, all things considered. And I think that there are a lot of factors that have contributed to my current health situation. About 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer, the left breast. I kind of opened the letter and went, this is BS, it's just because I'm like turning 50 and all at once now they just think that they should pick me to do more mammograms and more ultrasounds and this and that's. But they actually did a biopsy and it did come back as stage 1. I chose to do basically nothing medically for it beyond the biopsy. I talked with the surgeon and I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting anything cut out. I'm not taking these hormone blocker things. I'm just not going to do what you recommend. And he said, well, if you do nothing, you've probably got a good 10 years or so, but you're not doing nothing. You're actually doing all kinds of healthy things, because I had told him the long list of things that I had been doing at the time to help it, and he was pretty impressed. So I'm kind of down to the last 2 or 3 years of his prognosis, but I don't believe that it has grown. They put a chip in there, when they take the biopsy, they put this stupid little chip in there. I guess that's a way that they can be sure that that's the area then when they actually go in surgically to remove it. I wish that I had told them, no, don't put that in there, but I was sort of in shock about the whole thing, and I was by myself. I didn't have anybody to help me make that decision, and they didn't really give me a lot of choice. So it's in there. I think it irritates my breast tissue. Other than that, it's very difficult to locate it. My doctor has a little trouble locating it, and I have refused all mammograms and things since it was diagnosed, because I'm a firm believer that why add more injury to it? Radiation isn't healthy either. I've sort of fallen off the wagon with the whole taking everything from apricot seeds to MMS drops. I've sort of gone back to the typical not so healthy American diet, mostly because I've really committed to my youngest daughter and taking care of her, and she's a lot. She suffers from depression, anxiety, OCD, and I really am struggling to do everything in my power to help her to survive this and to be as healthy and happy as she can be, because I don't honestly know how much time I have left. I would probably ignore the cancer thing, except for I seem to catch everything under the sun. I did not take the COVID shots, but I have caught COVID probably 4 or 5 times, and this last time I caught it was like April 1st, and I coughed for a long time, had about 2 weeks off where I wasn't coughing, caught something again. I'm not sure if I caught just another round of COVID and it hung on, or if I caught whooping cough, because a lot of the little Amish children I work on have had whooping cough recently. And even though I had vaccines, I still think you can catch it, especially if your immune system is sort of maxed out. So it has been 5 months or so of continual coughing for me. And I'm not sure if that's the cancer or if that's just the way it is right now. I also have Hashimoto's thyroid problem. They keep an eye on it, but they haven't really done any of the autoimmune antibody tests lately because selenium and going gluten-free and all of that really didn't seem to make a difference on my numbers. So I do have thyroid problems and do take T3, T4 combination every day. Other than that, I do not take any medically prescribed medication at all. I'm kind of stubborn that way. So obviously I've taken more of a holistic approach in my life. I do have other problems as well. I was born with one leg shorter than the other, which created an S-shaped scoliosis. And I have eye problems. I had retinal surgery because it tore in 6 places in the back of my right eye, and they had to fix that, and then they put a new lens in that eye. I'm not sure if I have glaucoma or if I have a chicken fungal disease. One doctor felt that it was because I lived across the street from a turkey farm that I got this particular kind of fungal infection, and it affected my optic nerve. And the other doctor was convinced that it's glaucoma. There is a little family history of glaucoma. But I can't take the glaucoma drops because my body does not like them. It creates styes in my eye, and I don't know about you, but I just can't live with that constant itching, swelling, tearing, ugly sty looking thing. I would rather, I guess, put up with more nerve damage or something than deal with that. A lot of my reasoning for not doing things medically is because I firmly believe that soon in my lifetime there will be technologies that will correct all of these things. I'm a firm believer in the QArc, medbed, whatever you want to call it, possibility, and I did order an HHS device. It is not to me yet. I am hoping and praying that it gets to me because it's not just me. My daughter has the OCD, anxiety, depression issue. My other daughter that's getting married soon, but she kind of lives in a small house in the backyard and then shares my bathroom and certain other facilities with me. She's got a lump in her breast and has chosen not to deal with it medically either. My other son that is home from college periodically has type 1 diabetes that he got when he was 18 during COVID. So we're pretty sure that he had a mild form of COVID, and it basically created the autoimmune disorder for him, creating the diabetes. He's super careful with his diet, and he cannot live without taking insulin like 5 times a day. That's just the way it is, and it's still not well controlled. He would not wear a QHS device. He's a little stubborn that way. My daughter does have one. We're not noticing any change in the breast. So I'm anxious for the HHS because I think it would help my family I think it would help my aging cats. I think that it's just exactly what we need right now. And I'm also really looking forward to the new V9 because obviously I don't want to cough anymore. I'd love to see the cancer at least be not an issue anymore. I have AFib. I've had AFib my whole life pretty much. I think I got it from my grandpa who had a pacemaker and then died of a stroke, which is very common with arrhythmias. That's pretty much the way you go. You don't really go from a heart attack, you go from a stroke. And so I am a huge risk for not making it. I do have like a 2-inch spur in my left shoulder. I broke my left ankle nearly 2 years ago in 3 places and had to have metal put in it and couldn't walk on it for a long time. And it's slowly healing, but it's not all the way healed. I have some varicose veins. I'm obviously hideously overweight. I didn't used to be, but I think as the Hashimoto's progressed and as my life got more and more complicated, the weight just kind of came on, and certainly not moving for 3 months off the couch with my leg didn't help any either. And then the AFib doesn't help because exercise is really not an option for me anymore. My resting pulse is usually oftentimes 120 or above. And if I'm nervous, 145, I won't even notice it except that I'll be like, whoa, I'm kind of dizzy. And then I'll look at my Fitbit and go, okay, it's time to take a rescue remedy or chill out or something, just quit thinking thoughts. What I have noticed with the white device is that it really hasn't so much helped with the physical, but it has helped immensely with anxiety for me. Like the first thing I noticed is that I could drive without anxiety. And this had been a huge problem for me for years. I tried therapy for it. I tried EMDR. We never could come up with a reason why I have it. The only conclusion I could come to is that basically I have an anxiety disorder, and that probably feeds the AFib, and it's probably just an inherited thing, maybe from the trauma that I had as a child. I don't know, but basically the device just calms me down, and that has continued and continued. I'm able to drive over bridges. I'm able to drive busy roads in this one town that I live near that I couldn't before because I had panic attacks and would feel like I was going to pass out in those areas from the panic attacks. I mean, they were that severe. I'm driving on freeways. I'm driving in places where the stoplight takes forever. These are all triggers for people with driving anxiety. It's really changed my life because now I can drive my daughter 45 minutes away to a private Catholic school because that's where she feels she needs to be with her mental illness. The kids aren't bullying her there. She gets to, pray several times a day there. She recently shared with me that she was in what they call adoration. They're allowed to leave class and go sit in the chapel for an hour every week. And she was just in there, and she said, "Mom, I turned my head and I saw a man kneeling and praying. And then I turned my head and he wasn't in there again. And my professor came in there, her religious professor, I guess. He's a PhD or something like that, or a doctor of divinity, something, but they call him Doc. He came in and she described what she saw, and he said, oh, that sounds like St. Thomas Aquinas, which is what the school is named after. And she called me from adoration to tell me that this happened, and I think it's so cool. She's growing as a person spiritually, emotionally, physically, in every way. It's absolutely the right school for her, and we've tried a couple different ones. I would never have been able to drive her that 45 minutes every day to and from school, and then sometimes on the weekends for the different activities, if I still had the driving anxiety. So for me, what I'm noticing is I have more courage, I have more stamina, I am able to work harder, I don't need as many rest breaks. Some days I don't get any rest breaks, like my schedule is just packed, and I'm able to most days stay on schedule and not go overtime with people. And that's never happened in my 34 years of practice, that I've been able to stay on schedule day after day after day after day and keep up with it and not just go to the schedule and put rest breaks in. I haven't done it because I feel like at this point in my life, I don't have any retirement, I don't have any savings, I don't have anything, I've put it all into kids and failed marriages. Oh, that's another thing. I've had more than one failed marriage. The themes there were addictions and narcissism. And I'm not saying I didn't have any role in that. I obviously did. But 9 years ago, I just decided that's it. I'm not doing marriage anymore. I'm done with it. I'm not going to play that game anymore. I'm going to focus on raising my kids. And that's what I've done. So I recognize that there's this whole left-sided grief, broken heart kind of thing going on for me. And that's probably why that shoulder has a big spur and my heart is irregular and I have left breast cancer and I'm coughing for 5 months straight. And, it's obviously more than just a physical thing. It's an energetic, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, thing as well. So what I'm looking forward to with the QArc and a do-over is learning to put myself at least on the list of priorities, which I haven't been. My whole life I've been of service to others and an empath and a healer and a good wife and a good mother and a good friend, and I really didn't take the time to take care of myself properly, to put myself at least on that list of people that I love and take care of. And being alone for 9 years like I have been, I'm kind of back on the list. I'm not in first place. But when you have a child or two that want to die, you don't put yourself first, you put them first. And I think that the white devices have helped me to do that, and I'm grateful. I believe that I have a humanitarian heart, that spiritually that's why I'm here at this time. And I'm so looking forward to the next phase where the funds are released and we can just go to work to help elevate people. Obviously, health on all levels, mental, spiritual, emotional, physical, sexual, all of it is a huge goal of mine, and I believe that QHS is in the forefront of all of that. So I'm very much looking forward to being part of the team. That's why I'm doing this this prequel, which it's hard to share your vulnerability. It's hard to share your patterns. It's hard to say, this is who I am. I'm 58 and I'm not in great health and I'm fighting for my life. But that's where I'm at. And I hope and pray that I will survive. I hope and pray that the device will finally work more on a physical level with me, because although I'm so grateful for all of the ascension type things it's helped me with, I do need the physical help now too. I'm grateful to Dr. Alfredo. I'm grateful to Cynthia. I'm grateful to Tracy. I'm grateful to Ron from LWS. I'm just really grateful to be in this place, and I hope that my contribution is encouraging and that I can do another video later and you can actually see that things are better, like my skin is clear and my hair isn't gray and I have more energy and I'm not so big and things like that. So God bless everyone, and here's to a bigger, brighter future.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.